Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we will be jumping down into the charts for Vechain to take a look at what's been going on most recently and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free to join. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. If you're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, why not check out the Patreon services, link in the description down below. It'd be fantastic to join us and down in Discord and see what we're going on there. Right, let's jump on down into this, right? So Vechain paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source. And yeah, I'm just going to start with a little bit on this zoomed out view here, because we are potentially tracking a 5-wave move, but it's also a 335, I believe. I know, so a 535 so far, right? And what we're looking for here is reversal. Can we break out of this structure, or is it going to mean 3 more waves up and 5 more waves down? Okay, and that would actually complete an impulsive structure going down towards this low point. Now, that's not ideal, but it is a possibility, right? This would put us in at about 5.187 to about 5.489 if we rally up to the highest point of this 4th wave, right? Which we don't necessarily think is going to happen just yet, but that would put us as high as about 6.590. Okay, so right up here. After this low, if it does come in, when we're talking about a big run to the upside, okay, this would basically be approximately 35. It isn't an estimate. I'm just looking at resistance lines, but it could also be smaller than that. But I am expecting it to be a bigger ABC move to the upside, okay? So we're just going to track that to see how that one plays out. But essentially, if I drop in here a little bit more detail, we can take a look at some of the recent moves, right? So if this is we've had 5 waves inside our wave 3. If this is a 4th wave coming up, the ABC move, then we're coming towards the end of this one, right? We haven't hit any kind of major trigger points for going impulsive to the upside or anything like that, and we don't really have perfect structure in here either. We have got basically just ABC moves inside this C wave. There were, of course, potentially 5 waves inside the A wave here, so it could be a 535, but we haven't seen the structure for 5 waves going up either just yet. So the way I look at this is a big ABC move. Inside here we're kind of coming out about that top where we're finding that major resistance at about 6.389, and we're starting to pull back down, but you can see there's a little bit of resistance. We are trying to rally up. There's a bit of a sentiment change occurring. We can take a look at that from the stochastic RSI, and what we have here is basically this small kind of candle actually doing a pretty decent amount of correction on that stochastic, and basically showing us that the momentum isn't really necessarily selling. Now what we do is we throw the volume on here. What can we see? Well, we can actually see a bit of a change. So historically, if we take a look back just a few hours ago, price pulling down, volume was increasing, right? And as the price was going up, the volume was decreasing, okay? So essentially the sentiment was, we don't want to buy, we want to sell. Now what do we see is we actually see the price move up and the volume actually increased. And as we started to pull back down, the volume decreased. This is a sentiment shift. It's a sentiment change that's occurring. And what is being indicated inside this momentum indicator that is the stochastic RSI. So what we've got basically is now people saying, yes, I don't mind buying now, and I'm not necessarily going to sell at these prices, okay? So essentially what you're seeing here is a lessening on the selling pressure and a higher buying pressure. However, as we come up into the 4-hourly chart, we can see that this is overbought, and so there is going to be a need for a correction. So we've got a couple of different options here, right? We're either going to start to see Bitcoin shift and change that sentiment back to what it was previously with a bit of a pullback going down, okay, lowering this 4-hourly stochastic RSI to the oversold area again. The 8-hourly chart is also all the way up there as well, guys, so we are going to look for some kind of cooling off to occur, or alternatively we actually keep the 4-hour and the 8-hour overbought for a while, and we actually continue the run to the upside. Now, if we look at it from a probability perspective, what do we actually think is likely to occur? Well, I think it's more than likely that we're going to come down, right? But I think it's going to be choppy. I think we're not going to see a perfect 5-wave structure, for example, coming down into this low range to complete that 5th wave box. Instead, I think we're going to find ourselves with maybe like a 3-3-5 structure, something like that, right? So ABC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. we'll end up down here. So it'll be something, you know, quite choppy and get us right down into that low box, in my opinion. I do think that's probable right now, okay, but I do think there's going to be some opportunities to go up and to potentially drop it down again, right? So there's going to be some trading opportunities in there if that's what you want to do. So for the most part, I tend to hold out and just buy the market when I think there's a bigger reversal coming, and rather than trying to catch a falling knife, if you will, and try to, you know, profit from that as such. Now, essentially that's kind of our hourly chart, right? But if I zoom on out into our daily and I just bring this down a little bit, what do we see? Well, we see an ABC structure going up, right? We failed to actually hit the trigger points for the impulsive moves. No, that's not necessarily true. We hit the impulsive triggers, sorry, but we invalidated it by going down lower than this A wave here. This was a wave 1, this was a wave 3. However, this pullback actually invalidates it, causing it to become an ABC structure going to the upside, okay, a 335 structure, in fact. Okay, so something that we can kind of expect. Now, the 5-wave structure going down is a little bit frustrating, but it is there, and we should be thinking ABC upwards. Now, what happens after this ABC, and this is a large ABC up, is going to be anyone's guess, right? Does this turn into a 5-wave structure, or does this stay as a 3-wave structure like an ABC? And will we see then an additional 5 waves drop us down lower, right? Because if we've got 5 waves coming down and we have 3 waves going up, we should potentially be thinking 5 waves going down again, okay? And this is because it would basically make all of this a much larger ABC, right? A big A wave goes down, B wave comes up, and a C wave comes down. Now, all of that corrective play would put us still higher than that previous low, right? We should not lose that low point. It's possible that you can, but it's not likely, in my opinion. What we've done so far is actually set a series of higher lows, and what we've actually done here is set even some higher highs, right? So it's important that we acknowledge these things, right? So we acknowledge what patterns are going on here, what the sentiment is looking like, and what I think is likely to occur. I think we're not out of the woods yet. I think Bitcoin does have to pull back down even further. I've spoken about $37,500 quite a bit, but I also do think that Bitcoin has to bounce up. So Bitcoin, I think, has to bounce up to about anywhere between $42,000 and $45,000. Those are the areas that I think are the most probable areas for a B-wave bounce for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin bounces that way, I think that pretty much most altcoins are also going to follow Bitcoin and trend up with it, right? So essentially what you look at is a big A, B, and C wave, right? And I think that's kind of what's been in play here also with Vechain, right? We should acknowledge that there's a potential for a little bit more downside. Don't get me wrong, I would love Vechain to just rally straight up from here and actually just have this as a 335 structure, or a 535 structure, sorry, and then we can continue that run upwards, and that would be fantastic. You know, invalidation for this, by the way, guys, would basically come in. We'd have to move higher than 7.464, right? If we can move higher than 7.464 cent, then essentially that puts us in a 535 corrective structure ABC going down, and then we can actually talk about an ABC moving up earlier than maybe we were expecting. If, however, it doesn't happen and we pull back down into that low range, it completes a 5-wave structure, and we should think ABC up, a 3-wave structure that could comprise of a 535 or a 335 or any form of corrective structures, in fact, inside the ABC, and then potentially 5 more waves coming down. So some fantastic opportunities to capitalize in again on the next move up, but also some fantastic opportunities on the next pullback down to accumulate even more for the next run to the upside. So essentially, you know, in a pretty good spot with Vechain. We've rode this up a little bit here, but I wouldn't be overly too optimistic at this point. I still think there is potential for the downside, and I do think that we are likely to see this, unfortunately, 5th wave come in, which means then we can progress on afterwards. But for me, that's kind of what I'm seeing with Bitcoin right now. If you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.